Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the movie Hangout. Well, I got a comment about this story because it's going all over the place. I did not jump the gun, unlike the rest of the mainstream media. I actually waited until all the facts came in, and boy, this story just, I mean, the more information that comes out about this, the more insane and ridiculous this is. Okay, so the story starts out with this actor named Juicy, J- Jess. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. It's like Jussie, it's like a person who didn't know how to spell Jussie correctly, so they just put a U instead of an E. But anyway, I'm gonna call him Jussie, whatever, Hussy the Jussie. Jussie Smollett, which that sounds like an alias. Doesn't even sound like a real name, but that's the guy's name. So this actor, Jussie Smollett, who plays a rapper on the show Empire, which I've never watched 1 millisecond of. Apparently, this guy was out late at night in Chicago, and he says he was attacked by two white men wearing Trump red MAGA hats with the "Make America Great Again" slogan on it, and he was beat up because he's black and he's gay, and which I don't know how you could tell he's gay by looking at him, but apparently these guys magically knew that. Beat him up because he's black and gay, and then they tied a noose around his neck and just left it there like a tie. And then they said build a wall or something, which doesn't even make any sense given the scenario. And then they left him alone, and he had like a couple bruises on his face. Which, look, if you have any knowledge of fighting, if somebody punches you in the face, you're not going to have like a little bruise. Like your eye is going to be swollen, or you're going to have like a cut mark on your cheekbone that's like pretty big because getting hit in the face with somebody's bare knuckle is pretty serious. And what it looked like, in my opinion, it looked like this dude just was hitting himself in the face from didn't want to really damage his face because he's an actor, so he just wanted to like bruise it a little bit, which is not what it's going to look like if you get punched. So all of these people on social media, all the I call them the blue check mark fascists, jumped in and immediately believed him without any information other than the fact they just believe him to believe him. And then they started attacking Trump, which I don't know what President Trump has to do with it. Started attacking white people, started attacking conservatives, Republicans, Christians, which I don't know what that has to do with anything, but they're attacking him and basically painting him as a victim, and he's like a champion of all victims and all this stuff. Well, the problem is that as more details came out, it was apparent that Jussie was not being forthright with what actually happened. And the Chicago PD, who is led by a black police chief, so this is not the case of a you know racist white police chief. This guy's black too. I mean, he looks like Carl Winslow. He flat out said from the beginning there were some big inconsistencies and red flags. So number one, what happened was when they arrived on the scene, they found out that Jussie said that he was attacked almost an hour before calling. Well, if you're being attacked in a racial hate crime and you're scared for your life, you're going to call the police immediately for to protect you. I mean, it's just common sense. And then also when they looked at him, he was sitting calmly with the noose still around his neck. Why on earth would you why would you have a rope tied around your neck and let it just hang there for an hour? I mean, it was just, it was very clear and apparent to the police chief and the officers that this guy wanted to look like a victim, not somebody who was really attacked. And everybody in the media immediately blamed conservatives, and they were coming up with all these scenarios with who was actually the one who was attacking him. And so the police, just doing regular detective work, took Jussie's statement because they need to build a profile to look for potential suspects. So what they did was they were like, well, Jussie was in a public area. There are cameras everywhere. So let's just see if there's anybody fitting that description that was walking around that area within that 2 to 3 hour period. So the police look, they don't see anybody on there at all. Nobody wearing MAGA hats, nobody white, nobody even wearing a red Chicago Bulls hat. I mean, nothing even close to what this dude said. More time passes. The police bring Jussie in and question him even more. It's apparent this guy is getting more and more frazzled by being questioned, and the more you question a liar, the more likely they're going to give a tell as to the lie. They're more and more likely going to forget what they said initially in the lie, and then they're going to try to cover their tracks, and that's how you can tell if somebody is not telling the truth. What the police did find was that there were two males that were in the area, but they were not white, they were black. And so what they did was they did a profile on them, and then they actually found the two guys. And here are the two guys. These shirtless, like, big buff dudes. Now, I don't know. I could be going out on a limb here, but I don't think that these guys are white. And they might be Trump voters. I don't know. But these guys are definitely not white. And there's no way you could mistake them for being white at all. So that right there is a big red flag to his story. Now, it gets even deeper. What they found was that Jussie did not call the police. That was not his first call after the attack. His first call was actually his manager. Why would you call your manager if you've been attacked in a hate crime and a noose has been put around your neck? And it was found that he had been speaking to his manager for a substantial amount of time. And so that begs a question, why would you call your manager? It kind of looks like you're getting tips on how to stage a fake hate crime by doing something like that. And then the cops dug even deeper, and they found that the two black suspects that they called in to question were actually extras on the show Empire, which Jussie was on. And so there's a connection right there. So obviously Jussie could have had contact with these men. He could have planned this whole thing out with them. And then when the police pressed these guys even more, they revealed, and this has actually been reported on CBS Chicago, the brothers, it says here, the brothers questioned by police were paid, these guys admitted, $3,500 to stage attack, which was rehearsed days before. So this whole thing was premeditated. And then it gets even deeper. So the writers of the show Empire admitted that they're like, well, that's interesting that Jussie would be trying to get publicity because we actually wrote him off the show in the upcoming season. So they're going to either kill off his character or just end his character for whatever reason. So this guy who's an actor, he sees his gravy train ending. The train tracks are going to be ending in the very near future, and probably what he was doing, this is my opinion, and a lot of people think the same way, what he was trying to do was he was trying to get his name out there. He was trying to be a victim so people felt sorry for him, and then that way he could piggyback that onto gaining publicity for his career as well as the show, and then potentially keep his character in the show since it would be a draw for fans, or be able to get a talk show, be able to get a book deal, be able to get something lucrative. And that is the most disgusting part about this, and it's that there are people that legitimately have been attacked because of how they look. All different races have been attacked by somebody because of how they look. White people have been attacked for it, black people, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, everybody. There are cases where people have been attacked because of their race. There are women that are attacked because they're women. There are men that are attacked because they're men. Old people are attacked because of their age, kids, and so what we've done as a good society is come up with a category of a hate crime to give a harsher penalty for someone who targets a victim because of those reasons. And here you have a slimeball, a racist like Jussie, poorly choreograph a hate crime to make money. And what this is going to do in the future, and why I'm reporting on it, and everybody else is too, is that we are going to hold him accountable This is not going to go away. We're not going to forget about this, forgive and forget, and he's going to be on back in TV. We're going to continue to push this forever, and he's not going to be able to work on television again, hopefully, because if he does, then what it's going to do is it's going to incentivize other people to make false claims, and then when there's somebody who really was targeted, people aren't going to believe them. And that's a sad thing, because if somebody really is targeted for something horrible like that, they should be believed. There shouldn't be any shred of doubt whatsoever. They should be comforted, they should be protected and given whatever they need to, be able to get back on their feet. But when people do stuff like this, predatory behavior, I mean, and I do think that Jussie Smollett is a predator, and he's also a racist as well. To target people like that, it's a horrible thing. And also, what it does too is that people that don't dig deep and aren't even keel and wait for all the facts, like like what we do or countless other people do in new media, is that if people don't do their homework and they don't kind of separate their emotions a little bit, what they do is they immediately look for uh, just look for innocent people that look like the alleged perpetrators. I mean, what would happen if Jesse or someone were to, you know, they make up a fake story that obviously is targeted towards a demographic of people? What if somebody who looks like the demographic of people is harmed based on a lie? Which does happen. And in my opinion, I think that the only way this can be made right is that Jesse Smollett is going to have to do. I mean, he's going to have to do jail time. I don't know if this is a felony. It should be a felony if you lie about a hate crime. It should absolutely, it's definitely falsifying a police report, but he should definitely have to do some sort of jail time. And I really, really hope that his behavior is not rewarded, because it's only going to incentivize in the future. I don't know. This is just such a crazy, crazy case, and I think the reason why it's crazy is because it's a perfect example of how a liar and how a person who's just a bad person can manipulate millions of people to you know just with like a totally false narrative. I just think it's totally wrong and repulsive. What do you think about it? Do you believe this dude's story? I mean, is there anything that I didn't cover that is out there? I mean, do you have any reason to think that he's telling the truth? Do you think his career is going to go on? Do you think it should go on? Let me know. I'm interested. And if you want to hear future rants, reviews, and original content, click subscribe. Later.